What's up, Centurions? Here we are, day number 9. A couple things before we dive into the content for day number 9. First of all, we're going to go back to yesterday, day 8. Got a lot of good feedback. Once again, I should come to expect it at this point. I'm very impressed with the work that's been done, and more impressed with the application to it. So you're not just going through the motions and doing the homework you're bored in the class. I see so many of you taking the skills and the items that I throw at you and be like, oh, I could use it for this. Oh, hey, instead of doing your assignment, I just created this whole new team site that I'm actually going to use for something in my day-to-day job. So I love hearing that, love seeing that. I look forward to you taking these skills even further. My favorite thing, and I'm sure that you can all relate to this, but my favorite thing when I teach somebody something is seeing them take it a step further and then teach me something. So you thought it was all about me teaching you something, but I'm actually hoping to get a whole lot more out of this. So tomorrow is the last day. It is day 10. I know that I mentioned we're going to do a live session, and I'm still planning on doing that. I'm thinking about a live session maybe around noon. I'll throw a little poll out there and see what works best. But I'm thinking a live session at noon. Feel free to join us if you can. I'm just going to go over a couple new features related to Teams and talk about some things. I'm not thinking it's going to be very long, but would love for you to attend. But regardless, let's talk about the topic for today, which is running a meeting. So a lot of you have participated in a meeting, but I'm not sure how many of you have actually ran the meeting. And I'm sure some of you have. But I want to take some time today to go over all of the different features with regard to a Teams meeting, how you get into the meeting, recording a meeting, sharing a screen, making sure you're muted, and you can also mute people in the meeting. I'm just going to run down the list of the different features. So first things first, we got to actually join a meeting. So once again, we go to the calendar. Now, before I get into the calendar, I just want to remind you that a meeting can also take place in a channel area with the Meet Now feature. You've all practiced the meeting within the chat area. But we're going to use the more traditional method, and we're just going to join the meeting from the calendar area. You can also join a meeting from a link, as we talked about yesterday with the Outlook links. But like I said, for today, we are just going to join the meeting the more traditional way. In fact, I'm going to change it up even a little bit more, and I'm going to show you how to. Obviously, it's easy just to join a meeting or to start a meeting, but I'm going to show you what it looks like if you were to join a meeting that's already been started. So when you're ready to join a meeting, you're just going to go to your calendar, and this is obviously the more traditional way. You can see if a meeting is already in session, with the fact that it has a join option already. So the individuals that I have invited to this meeting are already in the meeting. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to view. We haven't actually joined the meeting yet, but we have some options here. We could join the meeting right from here. We could join the meeting, and right now it's going to have us join the meeting with our camera off, but our mic unmuted. If we want to check out our audio and video settings, we can do that from the custom setup. So maybe you had some earbuds or something that you want to use for your speaker. You could change those here if you wanted to. But other than that, if those settings check out, you're pretty much ready to go. You just click on Join Now.
Oh, there you go.
And you can see I have invited Marilyn Student and Lori Alien to the meeting. And they are actually my daughters. So they're on standby here. Apparently Marilyn is eating something up in her bedroom. So, hey, Bryn, hey, Ella, why don't you say hi to everybody?
Hi.
All right. So we're going to see how they go. Now, one thing that you got to understand is I have the ability to mute anybody in a meeting. So if they get a little out of hand or if they're talking too much, I can always mute them. All right. So now we're going to run through some of the basic settings. First things first, we can actually see how long this meeting has been going for. We got a running clock here. This toolbar is not always going to be on display. So if for some reason it goes away, as you can see right now, all I have to do is move my mouse and that toolbar will show back up. Now right now, Marilyn and Lori, they cannot see me because I don't have my camera on, and that's designated by the fact that the camera icon here has a line through it. If I want to turn my camera on, all I have to do is click on it, and just like that, they can see their dad. And look at the smile that it brings to their faces in a wave. Okay? The next button over is a mute button. So if I am not actively talking or participating in the meeting, it's good practice to mute yourself, whether you have background noises or you could have background noises. Or maybe you just want to take a drink of your water and you don't need to have everybody hear you. Take a drink of your water. Did you hear that, girls?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you got a TV going on in the background. These are all standard meeting things that you should try to avoid. So, like I said, if you're not talking, try. You notice that I went mute there for them. Okay. You might say, well, I always forget to unmute myself, so I just leave myself unmuted. It's really important that you learn and become aware of the mute button, and people will remind you if you are muted. The next button over is your screen share button. So this is going to give me the ability to quickly share either my whole screen or specific windows or applications, as you can see right here. So if I needed my meeting participants to see something on my screen, so maybe I want to show those in attendance the agenda for day 9. Ladies, can you see my agenda?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can view it now. And that's what it looks like. Now, we know that, I know that they can see that by the fact that there is a red line around that particular application. So anything that I do, anything that I change with this, they're going to be able to see exactly what I'm seeing on my screen. When you are ready to be done sharing your screen, there's an icon right here. It's that same button that you clicked on to share the screen. All you have to do is click on that, and that will end screen sharing. Now, Ella's never actually shared a screen before, but you can see she made it happen pretty easily. Now, check out my screen right now. There is a button that I want to call your attention to, and that's request control. So if for some reason somebody is sharing a screen and you would like to say, hey, can I show them, or maybe you're doing a group PowerPoint presentation and you would like to control how the slides progress, all you have to do is click on request control. Ella on the other end is going to get an approval notice, and she can go ahead and give me the ability to share it. Go ahead and now I'm controlling what's going on her screen. And you can see her mouse, and you can see my mouse. And Ella, can you see my picture on your screen?
Yep.
Okay. So she can see where I'm moving the mouse to make any changes. You can see I just typed in the word changes. That was actually me typing. Okay. So Ella, go ahead and stop sharing your screen.
Okay.
And just like that. First time user, pretty good, Al. You're a pro. All right. So that's screen sharing right there. There's a few other options designated by more actions. So if we click on that, there's some pretty cool things within here. I mentioned as we were about to join the meeting that we could adjust our speakers or our microphone that we're using. If during a meeting something's not working and you need to change your speakers or change your microphone, all you have to do is click on Show Device Settings, and you can update that from there. Maybe it's not using the right camera. You can change that as well. If I back out of there and go to More Actions again, if you want to keep meeting notes, you can take notes. And that's different from a chat area, which I'm going to get to here in a second, but you can actually take notes associated with a meeting that will be shared notes for all users that are in the meeting. If you want to be full screen, that's pretty self-explanatory. Background effects is super awesome. And I'm surprised the girls didn't catch on to this yet. But you can actually set your own background, and we can apply that. So just like that, I am now in a different location. Okay? Or if you don't like that particular background, you can change it to something more fun, like a bridge.
How can you do that?
Unfortunately, Bryn's on a mobile device, so she doesn't have the ability to do that. So we've kind of left Bryn out there. Look at the look of dismay on her face. Poor Bryn. All right. So moving away from the background, if you just want to blur your background, that's an option as well. And I like having this clock here because it's telling me how long this meeting's been going, so I can kind of keep to a better script. All right, just a couple other things. There's live captions. So if you wanted to show a live transcript, if I turn that on, it will actually say the words that I am saying or transcribe the words that I'm saying on the screen. Ella, can you see that?
Yes. I can see you typing.
I'm not typing. That's just taking the words that I'm saying and putting them on the screen. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
So as far as being accessible in meetings, very easy to do just by using the live captions. If you need to record a meeting, I recommend that you do this at the beginning of the meeting, but you can do it at any point during a meeting. You can start a recording. You can also end a recording if you just want to do a small snippet of the meeting recorded. And then obviously you can end the meeting and turn off their incoming video. But I'm not going to do that to them right now because I enjoy seeing their faces. Okay, so we see that Bryn's making a lot of noise on her end, and it seems to be taking away from our meeting a little bit. So one of the cool tools that you have is the ability to mute a participant. So you notice when I hover over, actually, I want to get rid of those live captions first. I meant to do that and didn't do that. But Bryn's making a lot of noise, so if we hover over, we get these menu dots. And we can actually take Bryn and we can mute her. Okay, so now when Bryn talks, go ahead, Bryn, say hello. And she's very quiet. Now, the one thing that I want to say about this is you don't have the ability to unmute the participant. So if that participant doesn't know how to unmute themselves, they are going to be quiet for the rest of the meeting, whether they want to or not. Okay, but luckily I think Bryn knows how to unmute her mic, so she can bring us the noise again. Another cool thing is while I got these menu dots out, and she unmuted herself, she figured it out, doggone it, is if we click on these, we can actually pin a video. So if Bryn was our guest speaker and we wanted to see only Bryn, we could make her the main video on our screen right now. Okay, so Bryn, go ahead and talk. Can we hear you?
Yeah.
There she is. She's our presenter now. If at any point you want to get rid of that, you can click on the menu dots, unpin, and that will bring your other participants up to full screen. Now, a lot of you have asked, why can't I get more than 4 people on the screen at a time? It's coming soon. Last I heard it was, well, not last I heard. Originally I heard it was going to be a May feature adoption. Now they pushed it back to June, but we will be having 3x3, which is, for you math people out there, a total of 9 participants you'll be able to see on the screen at a given time. I know it's still not as many as Zoom, but how many do you really need on the screen at a time, really? So a couple other features that I want to make sure that I cover. Chat. You got to have a chat option within a meeting. Chat makes it very easy to not only see who's joined the meeting, but also to send messages. In addition, you can easily share files, and all these files will be available long after the meeting takes place as well. And you can see that there's other items that you can send too, including GIFs. Last but not least, if you want to see who is in the meeting, you can click on this people option. If we wanted to invite more people to the meeting, we could do that by simply clicking on the invite someone or dial a number. Or if we don't have them in the system, we can click on the copy link and we can send a link to just about anybody for them to join in this Teams meeting. They do not have to be an MCC user. They can be an external user as well. If somebody were to be in the lobby, we mentioned that yesterday, you would get a notification up at the top of the screen to let them in. Obviously, we don't have anybody like that right now, so we don't have to worry about that. Oh, so that leaves 2 more things, but I'm going to have to let these great participants go because I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting. That's the next thing. In most cases, anybody can leave a meeting at any time, but there are settings so that you, the creator, the owner of the meeting, can be the only one that actually ends a meeting. But obviously, to end a meeting, you just make sure that you can see the red hang up button. Ladies, you are awesome. Thank you for participating today. I'm going to have to hang up on you and go ahead and hang up as well. You see if you tap the screen, Bryn, you can see the red hang up button, and Ella, I'm sure you can see it too.
Yeah.
But thank you very much. We appreciate your help today.
Bye.
We'll get you some ice cream.
Bye.
So upon the conclusion of the meeting, and I didn't record it. I meant to record it for a little bit. But you can see that you're going to get a meeting summary. You're going to be able to rate the meeting. If I were to have recorded the meeting, it would show up right here eventually. If I did this meeting as part of a channel, that recording would show up in the Teams channel. So yesterday we talked about inviting a channel. If you did that, that recording would show up in the channel. Pretty cool. And like I said, at any point you can access the chat. this meeting area if it's a scheduled meeting. I showed you this long ago, but if I scroll down my list, you can see that I have previous meetings. Okay, there's a meeting there. Here's a live event test run, but you can see all of the chat is still available for previously run meetings. So last thing I have for you is what do you have to do today? And if that's the question you asked, that's a great question. Here it is. So for today, pretty simple. Yesterday you started or you scheduled a meeting, or you set up a meeting, I should say. What I want you to do is reach out to that individual or individuals that you scheduled the meeting with, and if you didn't, then you might want to do that today. But I want you to go ahead and find a time today where you can just hop on that meeting quick. And I'd like you to just kind of take a test run of the settings, more specifically the additional settings option. So bring up that toolbar on your window and go to additional settings. And I want you to try to blur your screen. Now, some of you, depending on your camera, might not be able to do that. If you can't, no big deal. Just make sure you know where to go to find that for when you do have a camera that'll work for that. Also want you to make sure that you can pin and unpin the other participant and maybe even mute them. And obviously you need to know how to unmute yourself as well if that does happen to you or during a meeting. And then for the prompt, you're just going to take a screenshot of your video. So while you're in the meeting, make sure that you take a screenshot of it. I'd like you to, maybe have the other participant pin during it just to show me that you can do that. And then answer, did you see the option to mute them? And then just tell me maybe about some features that with meetings that you think that you could put to use. One thing that I did fail to mention during a Teams meeting is the videos that you see, the individuals that you see on your screen, so the 4 individuals, are going to be the last 4 individuals that have spoken during the meeting or made noise. Sometimes you'll just have somebody making some background noise and they'll show up as one of the last 4. So if you're wondering, hey, how do I get on that screen, or how do I understand who's on the screen? It's the last 4 to have spoken during the meeting. So that's all for today. Look forward to meeting with you live tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. Be thinking about what you want to share during that meeting. Please, I need some volunteers to do that. I know that I have some. So anyways, have a great Thursday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.